Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. If you're a returning listener, it's great to have you back. If you're new to the channel, we're really glad you joined us. Hope you like what you hear. So today, I'm going to share with you 7 phrases, statements, thoughts that I use very frequently in my life to kind of check my thought process, to make sure I'm thinking about things in an intelligent way. I'm staying focused on the things that are important to me, et cetera, et cetera. So these aren't motivational quotes. They're not rules. They're things that I tell myself or think to myself in various situations to help me think about how I want to approach a situation, to use common sense, to use logic, to use facts and reasoning, to stay grounded in essence. And maybe these will work for you, maybe they won't work for you, but I would argue that you need to have something similar in your life where if you're not sure about something or you're not confident in your approach, you can filter it through some of these statements and use these statements to help guide your thought process. So that's the point. You can use these, you cannot use these, entirely up to you. But with that said, we're going to share them with you. We're going to share situations that they make sense for us to use them, and you can do that information what you will. So with all that, let's just jump into it. First one, number 1, is celebrate on the bus. This is a saying that I had with my teammates when I played baseball back in the day. Back before electricity, I used to be a pretty decent baseball player and played in college and had a chance to play professionally. And so celebrate on the bus simply means you don't celebrate until it's over. You don't celebrate when it's close to over. You don't celebrate when it feels like you're going to win. You celebrate after you have already won. And the point here is you've got to stay focused and finish the job to make sure you get whatever it is you're working on across the finish line. So this is about discipline. It's about controlling your emotions, and it's about keeping your eye on the prize and finishing the job. Premature celebration is usually ego. It's you acting like something is done because it feels good to pretend that it's done. That doesn't get you where you want to be in life. Finish the job. There's plenty of time to celebrate after you've actually finished. That mental slip can cause big problems. Ask the 1986 Boston Red Sox, right? They were a pitch away. They were up 2 runs, bottom of the 10th. They had 2 strikes on batter with nobody on base. And they gave up, 3-4 consecutive hits, wound up losing that game and then losing the World Series in Game 7. So you stop paying attention to details, you stop following up, you stop being diligent, and it comes back to bite you in the ass. So you've only won after you've actually won. Don't celebrate until then. Stay focused, finish the job. That's the point. Can be used in business, can be used when you're hiring people, can be used in relationships, fitness, legal issues, doesn't matter. If the job is execution, you don't call the job complete until the execution is 100% and totally complete. Okay? That's it. Not we're going to do it. Not we're doing it. We did it. Confirmed. Now let's go celebrate. Real simple. Celebrate on the bus. Finish the job, then celebrate. All right, number 2. Tough guys don't have to tell you they're tough. They'll just kick your ass. That's what I use filter all the time. All right. I'm not telling you to go out and get in physical confrontations. I'm not telling you to go out and get in fights. I've been in plenty of fights. I've won fights. I've lost fights. The whole point is think about what it is you see. When someone is acting big and tough, generally they're not. Generally they're insecure. Generally they are pretending to be something that they're not in the hopes that you'll back down and let them do what they want. People who are truly capable of something don't need to advertise it. Do you hear Bill Gates talking about how much money he has? You don't, because he's just got a lot of money. Period. End of story. Generally, smart people don't have to tell you how smart they are. Some are insecure, and they'll do that with you. I used to do that when I was young. I used to tell people how smart I was all the time, and it was because I was insecure, and I wanted people to know I was smart. It was not a good approach. So how smart was I if I had to tell people how smart I was? I would argue I was pretty fucking stupid. So again, tough guys don't have to tell you they're tough. They'll just kick your ass. Plain and simple. Real competence is very obvious. It shows up when people are calm under pressure. It shows up when they consistently perform something. It shows up when they're not afraid of a situation because they know they've got the means and the capability to handle it. And it shows up in results. Scoreboard, right? Scoreboard. Scoreboard always tells the tale. And so that's the way I think about that one. I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. I know what I am. I know what I'm not. And when I hear someone or see someone being real overtly braggadocious or telling me how good they are at something or how important they are, I don't know. That makes me pause almost every time. I always want proof. What have they done repeatedly? Have they done it under easy conditions or hard conditions? Anyone can be good into the batting cage in the bottom of the ninth when someone's throwing BBs at you on the baseball field. That's when you can tell who the good hitters are or who the good pitchers are, right? What were their results over periods of time? Can I verify it? So in a lot of instances where physical confrontation felt imminent and someone was threatening me, I would ask the same question most of the time. Or what? I want to know what my options are. Because I think what you're inferring is if this goes further, you're going to kick my ass. And I don't think you can. And so that got me out of a lot of fights that I didn't have to get into because they were like, ooh, this guy's really not afraid of this situation. And look, I've got my ass kicked a lot. I'm not the biggest, strongest, toughest guy in the world. I'm plenty strong and tough, but there's always someone tougher than you out there that will beat your ass for you to teach you that lesson. I promise you that. It's not a good approach. But this is really more about the mental than the physical. Don't listen to the loud people because generally they're not the ones that have expertise in whatever it is you're looking for. Quiet confidence wins the day. Number 3, we all make choices. We all deal with the consequences. This is something that's, to me, is sorely lacking in our society today. We all make choices. We all deal with the consequences. Personal responsibility is paramount in my world. I'm not trying to shame you. I'm not trying to tell you anything other than what you can make whatever choices you want. You just have to be prepared to deal with the consequences. Plain and simple. When you accept that you're responsible for those actions, it's very freeing. You have a lot of control over your life when you're like, hey, I'm the only one that can control my own destiny. And here's the part that most people don't want to hear. By not choosing, you're making a choice not to choose. By not choosing to, let's just talk fitness and health and fitness. You choose to continue to eat the way you're eating, you're not going to get different results. You choose not to maintain physical fitness by going to the gym or getting regular physical activity. That's a choice. And you're going to pay the consequences in your health down the road. Avoiding is a choice. Waiting is a choice. Let's see how this plays out. That's a choice. You're choosing not to act now, and you're choosing to delay. Sometimes that's good. I argue that most times it's not. Most times action will yield some type of result, and you can make judgments from that result on what you should and want to do next. But make no mistake about it, every choice has a price tag. Every single one. If you think this, I get to make whatever choices I want. I just have to be prepared to deal with the consequences. That will shatter the victim mentality that we see so many people that want to embrace in today's society. It'll get rid of your resentment. It'll give you calm, and it'll give you a sense of agency over your life because you're not going to worry about what other people think, about what other people do, about what other people achieve or don't achieve because you're too busy focused on yourself, right? So there's a practical tool with this one. You can write it down. The choice I'm avoiding is blank. If I choose A, the consequence is blank. If I choose B, the consequence is blank. If I do nothing, the consequence is blank. And then you can choose which consequence you're willing to absorb or pay for, right? It's real straightforward. You get to make whatever choices you want, but you need to be prepared to deal with the consequences of your choices. And remember, not choosing is a choice, all right? So don't complain about consequences that you keep selecting. If you have trouble in relationships, what's the one common denominator in all those troubled relationships? It's you. Maybe you're doing something and need to change your approach, change your expectations, change the way you communicate with people. I don't know. I just know that you need to stand in front of the mirror and ask yourself, what can I do to get a different outcome? Because what I'm doing now that I keep doing over and over again is not delivering the outcome that I want. So keep that in mind. Everybody gets to make their own choices, but everyone has to deal with the consequences. All right. Number 4, Never confuse activity with achievement. This one's a personal favorite of mine. Like anyone else, I can get busy and feel like I'm being productive. Being busy does not mean you're being productive. It means you're being busy. And in our culture, the hustle culture, where I'm reading books and I'm taking courses and I'm planning this and I'm planning that, that's awesome. But what is it you're actually accomplishing when you're doing that stuff? Not much, right? Activity is motion. Achievement is progress. So let's say you want to start a business. You do all sorts of studying, you take all sorts of courses, you watch all sorts of videos. Have you done a test market? Have you developed a product and tested it in the market without investing all the money and time in a full-blown startup? Could you make your product and go out and test it? Sell it at a farmer's market. Fuck, go out on the street corner and sell it. Go door to door and see if people are willing to buy it from you or not. That would be progress versus all the other stuff that you're doing. I'm not saying don't plan. I'm not saying don't educate yourself. I'm saying at some point you got to pull the trigger. So don't ever confuse activity with achievement. There comes a point where planning or preparation actually becomes procrastination, but you don't feel like it's procrastination because you're busy while you're procrastinating. So the questions you got to ask yourself here to gut check this is, what did I actually produce? What did I actually complete? What did I do to move forward towards my goal? Right? Nothing wrong with education. Nothing wrong with, look, this is a YouTube channel. I want you to watch the videos because I think they'll help you. But if you don't take what we're talking about and apply it in real life and take action and do something about it, it's useless. It's fucking useless. You don't want to be there. So don't confuse activity with achievement, right? Makes sense. Number 5. A friend of mine said this, and it just was super smart to me. He was he ran the Boston Marathon in under 3 hours. Like, that's smoking fast for anyone. And he's not a professional runner, but man, the guy was hauling. That's like under 7-minute miles for 26 miles. It's wild. And so he did that. And I said, "You're a pretty good runner, huh?" And he said, "I'm actually not a runner." I'm like, "Dude, you ran the Boston Marathon in under 3 hours." He said, "Yeah, but I'm not running anymore, so I'm not a runner." The minute you start running, you're a runner. The minute you stop running, you're no longer a runner. Like, it was so brilliant the way he thought about it and the way he said it. And people want to assign themselves an identity without any evidence that they are actually living up to that identity. They want to declare they're disciplined without being disciplined. They want to say they're a leader without taking leadership steps, without providing actual leadership. They want to believe they're healthy when they're not making healthy choices, and they're not healthy. Identity is earned, right? This statement ends self-delusion. You say you're X, but do you actually do X? I used to say this to real estate investors because real estate investors love to say, "I'm a new real estate investor." And I'd be like, "Do you own any real estate?" And they're like, "Yes." I'm like, "Is it investment real estate?" And they're, "Yes." Then you're a real estate investor. The length of time that you've been a real estate investor is not relevant to this conversation. And conversely, people would say, "I'm a new real estate investor. Do you own any real estate?" No. Then you're not a real estate investor. You're curious about real estate investing, but if you bought real estate and are you loaning or renting it out to someone, then you're not a real estate investor, period. Plain and simple, right? So the whole point here is you have to take action to achieve the identity that you want to identify with. This ends self-delusion, right? Pick one identity that you want and define the smallest daily action that you can take to prove that you're that identity. If you're a runner, run for 10 minutes. If you're a writer, write 200 words a day. If you write 200 words a day, you're a writer. If you say you're a writer, but you're not doing any writing, you're not a writer, period. We just talked about investing. Do you own something? Do you own stocks? Do you own something that you expect to appreciate in value, and that's the reason you own it? Then you're an investor. If you don't, you're not, period. Are you a calm person under pressure? Maybe, maybe not. Do you freak out all the time? Do you want to be a calm person under pressure? Got it. But if you're not calm under pressure, then you're not a calm person under pressure. This is real straightforward. Your actions are what define your identity, not your statements, right? So that's a good gut check for all of us. Number 6, and this is an Andrew Carnegie quote. "I don't listen to what people say. I just watch what they do." This one, it's so good and it's so true. Most people can talk, they can explain, they can justify, but patterns don't lie about how people are. When words and actions conflict, trust the actions, because the actions are true. The words are just words. If you see a behavior 3 times, it's a pattern, plain and simple. I'll call you back. They don't call you back. They're not reliable, right? Straightforward. That's who they are. I value integrity, but they cut corners or go behind your back. They don't value integrity. They want you to think you do. They do, but they don't. Actions speak much louder than words. I don't listen to what people say. I just watch what they do. And then you can stop taking stuff personal because they're not directing it at you. It's who they are at their core. And if you agree with it, fine. If you don't agree with it, fine. But at least you know what you're dealing with. And that's what I always just want to know what I'm dealing with. I don't mind dealing with dishonest people. I don't mind dealing with lazy people. So long as I know and they'll admit that they're dishonest or lazy, I'm okay with it. It's the people that say one thing and do another that I don't interact well with. That's me personally. So don't listen to what people say, watch what they do. All right. Number 7, more than one thing can be true at the same time. And this one's terribly important with the way our society is right now. More than one thing can be true at the same time. Donald Trump could love his family and his daughter and still be a jerk to other women. Both those things can be true at the same time, right? That's just one example. I'm not trying to be political here. It's just an easy example to use. You could be a Democrat who totally supports the Second Amendment. Typically, the Democrat platform is to want to restrict things around the Second Amendment to some point. You can be a Republican that's pro-choice. Typically, Republicans are pro-life. Typically. More than one thing can be true at the same time. Most people live in black and white thinking. It's either good or bad. It's either right or wrong. He's either a hero or a villain. There's either success or failure. Life is almost always lived in the shades of gray. Those binary choices are the way kids in uneducated minds think. If you're thinking that way, you need to gut check it because you're not thinking about the world the way it actually is. Adults are complex people. You can love someone and still set boundaries for them. You can be grateful and still want more out of life. You can make a good point, or a person you don't like can make a good point and still be wrong in the grand scheme of things. That doesn't mean every single thing they say is wrong or invalid. More than one thing can be true at the same time. You can be confident and still prepare. You don't have to be just confident. You can be confident and prepare. More than one thing can be true at the same time. The easiest way to do this is replace the but. I like that guy, but, or I like the way that guy thinks on this, but I don't like the way he thinks on that. How about I like the way this guy thinks on this, and I disagree with him on the way he thinks on that. There you go. More than one thing is true. We haven't canceled a person as a human being simply because we disagree with them on one thing, right? So let's just go over those again. Celebrate on the bus. Tough guys don't have to tell you they're tough. They'll just kick your ass. You get to make all your own choices, but you need to be prepared to deal with the consequences because that's on you. Don't confuse activity with achievement. Identity is earned daily. The minute you start running, you're a runner. The minute you stop running, you're no longer a runner, right? Don't listen to what people say. Watch what they do. And more than one thing can be true at the same time. So my challenge to you is over the next 7 days, take one of these sayings per day or develop your own sayings that you use to filter the world and help you and assist you with your thought process. Write one real decision that you're facing, apply the filter, pick the next action, and then do it. Take action, okay? If you have fallback filters that you can use, it's going to make you able to process the world in a much more logical and sensible way. It's going to allow you to assimilate much more information quickly, and it's going to allow you to make decisions based on that information that you can feel good about going forward, okay? So, hope that's helpful, guys. I use all of those. They work for me. They might work for you. They might not work for you, but you need to find some version of those or some set of those filters or thought processes or ways of looking at things that help you process the world in a logical way so you can combine your feelings, your emotions with facts and logic and make good decisions. That's the whole point of what we're talking about. All right. James puts it up over here every day. Head over to our website, saltygingertalk.com. All of our podcast episodes are available there. Links to our social media accounts are available there. We've got a newsletter we publish every weekday. You can subscribe to there. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you consume it on. Very helpful for us. And so, on our YouTube channel, we post videos like this that give you tips on you can use in your everyday life to improve your standing. We interview folks that do the same thing. They tell you what they've learned from life and share those with you. Some of them have written books, some of them coach, some of them are business leaders, some of them just want to share because they want the world to be a better place. It's all great stuff. It's super helpful, and you don't want to miss any of it because it's going to help you really build the life that you want. So make sure you catch our next episode. We'll see you there.